Well, we do know that Congresswoman Lauren Boebert, in the middle of all of that footage that we saw yesterday of people kind of coming into the Capitol, was actively tweeting the speaker's location, was tweeting evocative, really provocative statements like today is 1776. And it very much, I believe, indicates a side here. And when you don't know which of your colleagues were part of a potential conspiracy, then we need to find out. And frankly, from a lot of the behavior that we have seen both in committee, inside the workings of the House, I believe that every member of Congress should be able to answer that question. I'm happy to answer this question. I know that Representative Jerry Connolly, Representative Chellie Pingree, we are more than willing to offer that we did not seek a pardon from the White House either before or after January 6th, or frankly at any point in time. And I believe that it's a very simple question that every single member of Congress should be able to answer.
The only question I want to hear from any reporter right now when they come face to face with a Republican member of Congress is, did you request a pardon from Trump? Because so far, the January 6th committee has revealed that at least one Republican lawmaker did ask for a pardon.
Representative Scott Perry, who is also involved in trying to get Clark appointed as Attorney General, has refused to testify here. As you will see, Representative Perry contacted the White House in the weeks after January 6th to seek a presidential pardon. Multiple other Republican congressmen also sought presidential pardons for their roles in attempting to overturn the 2020 election.
Now, Scott Perry, for his part, tweeted, "The notion that I ever sought a presidential pardon for myself or other members of Congress is an absolute shameless and soulless lie." But here's the thing. If Perry really didn't seek a pardon, why not just testify and say that? If he's telling the truth, he's got nothing to worry about. In fact, that would put the issue to rest pretty effectively. And yet, shockingly, Perry refused to testify for the January 6th committee. So I guess you'll just have to take the guy's word for it, who's happy to promise up and down that he's telling the truth on Twitter. But testify to that same point under oath? Well, yeah, that's not gonna work. And second of all, listen again to what Liz Cheney said.
As you will see, Representative Perry contacted the White House in the weeks after January 6th to seek a presidential pardon.
Note the words, "as you will see." I mean, come on, man. It really doesn't take a genius to recognize that the January 6th committee has proof. They've got the receipts. Liz Cheney isn't just staking the entire committee's reputation on empty threats. So if you're Scott Perry, unless your contention is that Liz Cheney and the entire January 6th committee are lying, then you're about to have the worst aging tweet of the month, which, by the way, I realize doesn't seem to bother them. These people don't have shame. They don't have any qualms about being proven outright liars. They are far, far beyond the days where having their credibility absolutely decimated publicly counts for anything. At this point, for Republicans, lying for political gain isn't a career killer, it is a prerequisite. And it's not just Perry here. CNN reported that other Republican lawmakers also lobbied Trump for pardons, including Paul Gosar, Andy Biggs, and Mo Brooks. And assuming that's accurate, those are just the ones we know about. AOC herself also took to Twitter to pose the question to Matt Gaetz, tweeting, "Hey Matt Gaetz, while I have you responding to my tweets, can you respond to one more for me? Did you ever ask Trump for a pardon? Let me know in the replies. You clearly know where the button is." And you're not going to believe this, but Matt Gaetz never did manage to respond to that one. I know. Shocker. Not for nothing, but if I was a Republican, I'd probably want to make it abundantly clear that I didn't ask then President Trump for a pardon if that was the case. I'd be perfectly willing to testify to that under oath. And for those Republicans who did ask Trump for a pardon, and I have a sneaking suspicion that there's quite a few more than we think right now, my only question is, why? If you weren't doing anything illegal, why would you possibly need a pardon? It's almost like, and bear with me on this one, they knew full well that they were acting corruptly, that they were violating their oaths of office, that they were participating in a seditious conspiracy, that they were seeking to defraud the United States of America, that they were obstructing a congressional proceeding, but decided to lie about it anyway. The truth is they were all well aware, just like Donald Trump himself was well aware when he was told that there was no path to victory by his own administration officials, which we learned from taped depositions on day one of the January 6th committee hearings, but decided to promote the big lie and incite a coup anyway. The Republican Party knows that it can't win without cheating because it's selling an agenda that only 30% of Americans support, and so when they inevitably lost, they decided they'd rather just stomp their feet and play make-believe like they won, while knowing full well that they were committing a fraud on the American people. But we have proof of what really happened, and we'll continue to watch as the January 6th committee makes that case to the American people. And if the DOJ has any respect for itself and our democracy, they will do the right thing and hold those who've committed crimes against this country accountable, or else risk emboldening those people to commit those crimes again. To see more videos like this, click the subscribe button right here on this screen. And to support my work beyond that, check out my podcast, No Lie with Brian Tyler Cohen, where I cover the week's most important stories and interview the biggest players in the world of politics, including President Biden, Kamala Harris, Pete Buttigieg, Elizabeth Warren, Katie Porter, and so many more. The link is also right here on this screen. And finally, to take action yourself and sign petitions on the most important issues, go to briantylercohen.com/petition.